Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. He always knows what's right. God hears them all. There is no prayer too small. My God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. No prayer too small. God hears them all.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I'm going to share something with you, and let me be crystal clear, to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of the coffin. You try lifting the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from opening it. You then try banging on the lid to hopefully unsettle the dirt, and maybe, just maybe, somebody might notice and start digging their way down towards you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are probably people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind while you were abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose? Take something away that God had given to you called life. And if that's not selfish enough, what about taking your life away from the people that love and count on you most? Your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your children, and your grandchildren. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person I read about on these index cards that waited and waited until it was too late. Instead, pick up the phone and call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you, I will help you take your life back, for your life is gone. People like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741. Larry Geis and I always tell folks like you, doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here looking for a better today and a brighter tomorrow. Larry can be found at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741. Let Larry Geis help you take your life back also. Folks, when you go to bed at night, take your slippers off and don't leave them at the edge of your bed, but stick them under your bed, like maybe 1/3 under your bed. In the morning when you go to retrieve them, when you're on your knees going to pick them up, utilize what I call knee mail, K-N-E-E-M mail, and that's your personal chat line, your personal phone, your personal fax to God. If you do this every night, stick your slippers under the bed, and then every morning retrieve them. Spend that time with God. Thank God for another beautiful day, like that stream behind me. Ask God for guidance and direction, forgiveness and mercy. Thank God for the home, the clothing, the husband, the wife, the children in your life. Thank God for your health. Do this each and every morning, and you'll notice that your days become better, your relationships become better, your financials become better. Reach out to God each and every morning. Utilize an email. When you're finished, put on those slippers and walk with God 24/7. Email each and every morning. K-N-E-E-M-A-I-L mail. Email. Utilize it. Walk with God 24/7. Today we're going to talk about 7 tips for staying positive in recovery. Getting clean and sober is a tremendous accomplishment. It takes time and effort, sometimes a fair amount of pain and struggle, but over time the struggle fades and the day-to-day living becomes routine once again. You regain enough trust from your family to go back to functioning in a normal way. You get your 90 meetings in 90 days if you go to AA. You regain some respect at work. Life does go on. But relapse is a real possibility, my friends. Everyone who has gotten sober has heard the stories of those who struggle to remain so. Relapse is common and is often very devastating. So how can you use positive psychology to improve your chances at not only getting sober, but staying sober? You might not have Googled happiness as the first step to learning more about relapse prevention, but as it turns out, a long-term focus on happiness might be a good idea. Being happy, truly happy in your sobriety may help you stay sober. Makes sense? Because if being sober doesn't make you happy, then you're fighting against yourself from the get-go. The 7 Habits of Happy People is a list of suggestions for living happily. Number 1, relationships, intimacy, and commitment. Studies show that people who rate themselves as very happy have close ties with other people, but having a large number of friends doesn't seem to matter. What does matter is that happy people prioritize connecting with others, making meaningful relationships, and then making time to spend with these people. Start small. Try making 1 phone call to someone you care about each week. See where that leads. Number 2 is caring, kindness, giving, and service. Making time to give back. It may be the recovery community through service to your Alcoholics Anonymous group or in other ways, but make it a priority to do things for others with no particular reward in mind. Volunteering is a great way to connect with others and give back to your community. Not sure you can handle volunteering in a hospital or nursing home setting? Perhaps walking dogs at a local animal shelter is better match for you. Number 3 is physical health, nutrition, sleep, and exercise. Negative moods can be a real risk to your sobriety, and using drugs and alcohol can wreak havoc on your body. Regular exercise can be as effective as medication at easing depression, and you'll feel better physically too. Not the type of person to join the gym? Hate running? Try yoga to find local rail trail in your area. You can find activities that you can enjoy solo or gathered in a group. Many areas now have meetup groups engaging in nearly any type of activity you can imagine, from ultimate frisbee to tango. Number 4 is goals, hobbies, and flow. Find an activity that you can dive into with both feet. For some, this may be creative outlet like pottery, needlework, or art. For others, it may be an activity like riding a horse or bicycle. Whatever it is, it should be something that challenges you, something that you can work with and seek to get better and master after a while. It should be something that when you do it, you can get into the groove and experience the joy of flow. Flow is the best understood as the sense that you've totally lost track of time and even sense of yourself. With pottery, it's like the universe has shrunk down to the clay, the wheel, and your hands. Time evaporates and you are totally in the moment. Afterwards, you may feel joyful, relaxed, or exhilarated, and you'll likely be amazed at how much time went by. Experiencing flow is a core component of happiness. Number 5 is spirituality, religion, or your higher power. Studies show that people who consistently consider themselves to be happiest also indicate some connection to either an organized religion, a self-definition of as spiritual, or a commitment to a higher power. Many different traditions stress that some sort of meditation as part of a practice of the faith. And again, meditation is known to be linked with feelings of well-being and happiness. Number 6, strengths, best qualities, sharing them. Again, studies show that happiness is strongly linked to certain type of self-knowledge, not self-criticism. While it's all too common to be your own harshest critic, being able to identify and use your best qualities, your strengths, and virtues is an important skill that happy people seem to master. Number 7, optimism and gratitude. Or I should say optimism and gratitude. These qualities have to do with being able to roll with the punches and cope with the ups and downs that life throws at you. And the ups and downs that recovery will certainly dole out as well. Happy people manage to find opportunities even in difficult or negative situations. They may mourn and grieve losses, but they don't lose hope or predict negative outcomes. Studies indicate once again that optimistic people or optimistic thinking can help people feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically. If you work on integrating these 7 principles into your life as you continue to work your program, you just may find that relapse prevention is a positive and fun part of being sober. So try it today. These were the 7 principles of making you or giving you the tools to live a happier life during your recovery. Remember, recovery as an alcoholic or addicted to drug will be with you forever. There is not a time frame where once you say, I don't want to do drugs and alcohol anymore, that you just say, okay, let me live a sober life and live in recovery. Because if you think that recovery is only a year or 2, you're wrong. It's your lifetime. If you truly are an alcoholic and addicted to drugs, it's a disease that stays within you forever. Living a sober life and in recovery is a tool that you'll utilize for the rest of your life to live that way. So practice those 7 things. Make sure you include your higher power, because without your higher power, you will never ever succeed in your recovery. And if you need to, if you're surrounding yourself with folks right now that are constantly doing drugs and alcohol, you might want to change and start being around people that are sober. You might meet these people in your AA, you might meet them in your church. I'm not saying get rid of your friends. What I am saying is that you're on your daily activities, surround yourself with people that are influential like you when it comes to drinking and drugging. Let today be the first day of your new life, and no better way to start than to use an email like I spoke about in the beginning of this video. Every morning when you retrieve those slippers, thank God for another beautiful day. Thank God for another morning to wake up, and thank God for everything that He has given you, and ask God for guidance, direction, mercy, and forgiveness. Let your day start this way. I hope you enjoyed this segment. I look forward to the next one. I hope you have the best day of your life, but I hope and I pray that you all have a sober rest of your life. And may God bless you.
Have you God in answer and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember,